guys, it's me Justin again. So I know it's been a little bit since I've made my last video, but been a little bit busy. Had a lot going on. Found out everything got approved for Disney, and was clear to go to leave ASU first semester. So I was packing up my apartment, moving everything back to Chicago. Ended up driving my car back to Chicago so I could have a car in Florida, because a lot of people had suggested having a car down there for work, since that makes it a lot easier to get to work and just a lot of in case you want to go explore Florida while you're down there with your time being, and just kind of just a lot more convenience wise for groceries and stuff. But today, what I want to be talking about more is your housing and how to kind of find your roommates. So, what I would suggest is immediately after you are admitted into the program and find out everything's good to go and you're clear, um, start immediately looking for your roommates, because that's going to be one of the most vital things to your experience. And um, one of the, honestly, what I've kind of looked at the hardest thing to find. So I went to Arizona State University, and they had a thing called Devil to Devil, which is kind of like a Match.com where you'd put like kind of like your preferences in, like your like if you were an early riser, or if you were like a night owl, or um, if you like to party, if you didn't like to party, or like what kind of then like what your major was, to try and like kind of match you with kids that also had the same um, kind of like views or interests as you, to kind of make it easier so your living experience is a little bit more enjoyable right off the bat, um, versus like completely someone where you didn't know them at all and have nothing in common with them at all. So what I did was, after I got admitted, was I went on Facebook and tried to find as many Facebook groups as I could, searching things like WDW college program and the year you're doing it, in either spring or fall, um, and then like even WDW, like then your dates is also another great thing to look for, like your arrival and departure date. Is another great way how to find people and start looking for your roommates. And people, once I started doing it, I found one group, and then I actually found a few people where they had been had previously done the program. So I hadn't found one specifically for my date yet. So I had asked them, like, oh, like I'm having trouble finding roommates. Like, is there any, like, do you happen to know of any like places where I could find these groups at on Facebook or whatever? And they had actually found a group within like a matter of 30 seconds on Facebook, like Messenger, and they're like, oh, here, look in this group, and then you'll find people, like more people with your dates. And so lucky to have that, because it's where I found two of my roommates so far, which I'm going to be living with in now 20 days. I've down till I'm actually at Disney, which it seems very unreal because it's all coming so quickly, and it's very exciting that everything's coming so quick, and that I won't be returning to ASU first semester. So I'm saying bye to my friends like Lindsay and Jason that are graduating at the end of this next semester. So that's kind of sad, but I know those are great. So, and then we'll all keep in touch. But and then once you do that, once you find your roommates, you're gonna want to kind of look into the things of with like housing, where you want to live. So you have four choices. There's Vista Way, the Commons, Patterson, and Chatham, which are their four options you can basically choose from. They have anywhere from 4 to 8 roommates you can live with. So it's, and then it breaks down in the option where you can also kind of have some random options, or some like not random options, but like different scenarios where it's no, because in the normal situation is where it's a shared bedroom with you and another person, and with basically two twin size beds in a room, with a shared bathroom is what it normally is. But then there's also another case, which um, is where you have three people sharing a room, where it's one single twin bed, and then a bunk bed with two singles on it. So basically two single twin beds, which is a little bit crammed for me, but make it work. It's Disney. It's a dream come true. So it's kind of nice. But so Vista Way is your one that's kind of has a reputation of the partiers, and then which is also one of the older ones, I believe. And then which I'll have to update you guys on if some of this stuff changes once I get down there. And then there's Chatham, Patterson, and which I believe are a little bit newer than Vista Way. And then I believe the most recently built was the Commons, which also has a little convenience store that you can get like little stuff at. Like at ASU is our pod market, where you could buy like random stuff, like if you need like munchies, or stuff like laundry detergent, like last minute that you ran out of and didn't have time to make it to the store, or like if you're running late or whatever. So you kind of have a lot of options to choose from, but you either go anywhere from, there's even options where I've seen on there now you can live at um, single bedroom, well, not single, well, it's just one bedroom apartment, but you share it with you and another person, all the way up to a four bedroom, which has 8 roommates. So you kind of get a lot to vary with it depending on your experience, or if you decide that also the option not to do roommates, you can also go completely random and just kind of get assigned them and kind of roll the dice, kind of like your whole Disney experience. You're kind of just rolling it and taking the chance on it. It's a little bit scary, thinking that I'm not going to be going to ASU next semester, and just almost as if I'm starting my whole college experience all over again, but I'm not, because it's like the whole new world, and kind of just looking at, like, you don't know what to expect. But I'm sure it's gonna be a great experience, and I'll be making another video soon for you guys for some more stuff once I'm down there.